In the last episode, Alex finally uncovers the truth about the research station's past and the true nature of the Galactic Council. The weight of his newfound understanding is crushing, and he is forced to confront the reality that his decisions have consequences. Previously, Alex uncovers the dark secrets of the research station and the Galactic Council's sinister motives, forcing him to grapple with the weight of his newfound understanding and the consequences of his decisions. As Alex's eyes locked onto the holographic projection of the research station's logs, the truth hit him like a tidal wave. The Council's intentions were far more nefarious than he had ever imagined. The air seemed to thicken around him, heavy with the weight of his newfound responsibility. He felt the burden of leadership settle squarely on his shoulders, the fate of humanity hanging precariously in the balance. "Hold on, Alex," a gentle voice whispered in his ear. "I've got something for you." Alex turned to find Dr. Sophia Patel, her eyes shining with a mix of urgency and hope, holding up a small, intricately carved device. "What is it, Sophia?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "This," she replied, her voice trembling, "is the key to decoding the Council's encrypted databases. We can finally uncover the secrets they've been hiding from us." Alex's eyes locked onto the device, his heart racing with anticipation. This could be the break they needed to take down the Council once and for all. But as he reached for the device, a warning voice whispered in the back of his mind. What other secrets lie hidden in the shadows, waiting to destroy everything we've worked for? With the device clutched tightly in his hand, Alex made his way back to the stronghold, his mind racing with the implications of what they might uncover. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and Alex knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger. But he was ready. For the first time in his life, he felt a sense of purpose, a sense of direction. As he entered the stronghold, he was greeted by the familiar faces of his coalition. They had assembled in the main hall, their eyes fixed on him with a mix of curiosity and concern. Alex took a deep breath, the weight of his responsibility settling squarely on his shoulders. "Friends," he began, his voice carrying across the hall, "we've finally uncovered the truth about the research station and the Galactic Council. But with that knowledge comes a great responsibility. We have the power to change the course of history, to forge a new path for humanity. But we must be prepared to face the consequences of our actions." The room fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of the stronghold's engines. Alex's eyes scanned the room, meeting the gaze of each member of his coalition. He saw the fire of determination burning in their eyes, the same fire that burned within him. Together, he continued, his voice building in strength, "We will uncover the secrets of the Council's databases. We will expose their corruption and bring them to justice. And we will forge a new future for humanity, one where we are free to thrive and explore the galaxy without fear of oppression." The room erupted into a chorus of cheers and applause, the sound echoing off the walls of the stronghold. Alex smiled, a sense of pride and purpose swelling within him. For the first time in his life, he felt like he was exactly where he was meant to be. But as the celebration died down, Alex's eyes locked onto the device still clutched in his hand. He knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, that the Council would stop at nothing to protect their secrets. He knew that they would face challenges that would test their resolve, their courage, and their leadership. And yet, despite the uncertainty of the future, Alex felt a sense of hope. He knew that as long as they stood together, as long as they remained committed to their cause, they could overcome any obstacle. They could change the course of history. With a deep breath, Alex turned to his coalition. "Let's get to work," he said, a fierce determination burning in his eyes. "We have a council to bring down." Previously, Alex uncovers the dark secrets of the research station and the Galactic Council's sinister motives, and with the device to decode the Council's encrypted databases in hand, he rallies his coalition to finally bring the Council to justice. As the stronghold's engines hummed to life, Alex stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the holographic projection of the Galactic Council's database. The device, now plugged into the Stronghold's mainframe, was already yielding crucial information, revealing the Council's elaborate network of corruption and deceit. "We're getting close," Dr. Patel whispered, her eyes shining with excitement. "I can feel it." But Alex knew the Council wouldn't go down without a fight. He could sense the storm brewing on the horizon, the Council's forces mobilizing to crush their rebellion. Suddenly, the Stronghold's alarms blared to life, warning lights flashing across the control panel. "Incoming transmission from the Council," the AI announced, its voice calm but urgent. Alex's heart raced as he turned to face the viewscreen, where the cold, calculating face of Counselor Arlo Vaughn sneered at him. "Alex Carter," Vaughn's voice dripped with condescension, "you're playing with fire. Hand over the device and surrender, and we might spare your life." Alex's grip on the device tightened, his determination to bring down the Council burning brighter than ever. "Well, never surrender," he growled, his eyes locked on Vaughn's. "You've had your chance to rule with an iron fist. Now it's our turn to forge a new future for humanity." Vaughn's smile twisted into a snarl, and the transmission cut off, plunging the Stronghold into an ominous silence. The room was a flurry of activity as Alex's coalition scrambled to prepare for battle. They knew the Council would stop at nothing to crush their rebellion, and they had to be ready. "We need to get the word out," Alex said, his mind racing with strategy. "We need to rally the people of Earth, to show them that we're fighting for their freedom." Dr. Patel nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "I can hack into the global comms network, broadcast our message to every corner of the planet." Alex nodded, a fierce grin spreading across his face. "Do it. Let's take the fight to the Council's doorstep." As the Stronghold hurtled through the asteroid field, Alex's coalition worked tirelessly to prepare for the impending battle. They knew the odds were against them, but they also knew they had something the Council didn't hope. And with that hope, they would forge a new future for humanity, no matter the cost. Previously, Alex uncovers the Galactic Council's sinister motives and acquires the device to decode their encrypted databases, rallying his coalition to bring the Council to justice as the Stronghold prepares for battle against the Council's incoming forces. As Dr. Patel worked her magic on the global comms network, the Stronghold's screens flickered to life, broadcasting Alex's message to every corner of the planet. His voice, laced with conviction and determination, echoed through the speakers, igniting a spark of hope in the hearts of the people of Earth. "We, the representatives of humanity's future, declare our independence from the Galactic Council's tyranny. We will no longer be held hostage by their corruption and deceit. It's time for us to take back our freedom, to forge a new path, and to reclaim our place among the stars." The room erupted in cheers as the message went live, the Stronghold's crew and allies sharing in the triumphant moment. Alex's eyes met Dr. Patel's, and they exchanged a nod, knowing this was just the beginning. But their celebration was short-lived, as the Stronghold's sensors picked up a massive fleet of Council warships emerging from the depths of space. The Council had responded to their declaration with force, and the showdown was about to begin. "We have multiple contacts closing in on our position," the AI announced, its voice steady despite the impending doom. Alex's grip on the device tightened, his mind racing with strategy. "All right, let's show them what we're made of. Prepare for battle stations." The Stronghold's engines roared to life as Alex's coalition scrambled to defend their ship. The asteroid field, once a haven, was now a deadly trap, as Council warships closed in from every direction. Alex's determination burned brighter than ever, but he knew this battle would be far from easy. The stakes were higher than ever, and the fate of humanity hung in the balance. As the first wave of Council warships breached the asteroid field, Alex's coalition launched a barrage of counterattacks, their ships dancing across the battlefield like fireflies in a deadly waltz. The Stronghold shuddered under the barrage, its shields straining to hold against the Council's superior firepower. Alex knew they couldn't hold out for long, but he had a plan, a desperate gamble to turn the tide of the battle. "Dr. Patel, can you hack into the Council's command center?" Alex asked, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. "We need to get inside their heads, to disable their command structure and give us a chance to take them down." Dr. Patel's eyes locked onto the holographic display, her fingers flying across the console as she worked her magic. The tension was palpable as the Stronghold's crew held their breath, waiting for the outcome. And then, in a flash of inspiration, Dr. Patel's face lit up with a triumphant smile. "I am in," she whispered, her eyes glinting with excitement. "Let's take the fight to the Council's doorstep." With Dr. Patel's hack, the Stronghold's screens flickered to life, displaying the Council's command center in real time. Alex's eyes narrowed, studying the layout, searching for the perfect moment to strike. And then, in a burst of courage, he made his move, issuing a series of swift commands that sent the Stronghold hurtling toward the heart of the Council's fleet. The battle raged on, the Stronghold dodging and weaving through the chaos, as Alex's coalition fought against all odds to bring down the Council's reign of terror. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and Alex knew this was his moment to shine, to prove that even in the darkest of times, there was always hope. Previously, Alex declares humanity's independence from the Galactic Council, broadcasting his message to the world, and prepares for battle as the Council responds with force, surrounding the Stronghold in the asteroid field. As the Stronghold pierces the heart of the Council's fleet, Alex's gamble hangs in the balance. Dr. Patel's hack has given them a narrow window of opportunity, but the consequences of failure are catastrophic. The fate of humanity's rebellion rests on Alex's ability to outmaneuver the Council's warships and shatter their command structure. The Stronghold's engines screamed in protest as Alex pushed the ship to its limits, dodging and weaving through the maze of Council vessels. His heart pounded in his chest, his senses heightened as he scanned the battlefield, searching for the decisive blow. The ship shuddered under a hail of laser fire, its shields straining to hold against the onslaught. Suddenly, a Council warship loomed large on the main screen, its cannons charging for a devastating blast. Alex's instincts screamed for evasive action, but it was too late. The warship unleashed a blast of energy that shook the Stronghold to its core. Alarms blared as the ship stumbled, its engines faltering under the strain. "Report," Alex barked, his voice echoing through the chaotic bridge. "We're losing power, Alex," Dr. Patel shouted, her fingers flying across the console in a desperate bid to compensate. "Our shields are down to 20% and dropping." The Stronghold careened out of control, its trajectory uncertain as the Council warships closed in for the kill. Alex's grip on the device tightened, his mind racing with a last-ditch plan. "Prepare for emergency teleportation," he ordered, his voice steady despite the impending doom. "Well, beam out the crew and abandon ship. It's our only chance to survive." The Stronghold's teleportation systems hummed to life, a soft glow enveloping the bridge as the crew prepared to evacuate. Alex's heart ached as he gazed upon the ship that had become his home, the symbol of humanity's rebellion against the Council's tyranny. But it was too late. The Council warship loomed large once more, its cannons charging for the final blow. Alex's vision narrowed, his focus fixed on the warship's command center, where the Council's fleet commander sneered at him from the viewscreen. "You're finished," Alex Carter, the commander, taunted, his voice dripping with malice. "Your rebellion is at an end. Surrender now and we might spare your life." Alex's eyes blazed with defiance as he raised the device, his fingers poised over the trigger. The fate of humanity's rebellion hung in the balance, and Alex was about to make the ultimate gamble. Previously, Alex broadcasted humanity's declaration of independence, and the Stronghold was surrounded by the Galactic Council's fleet. Alex's gamble relies on Dr. Patel's hack, but the consequences of failure are catastrophic, and the Stronghold is on the brink of collapse. As Alex's finger hovered above the device's trigger, a blinding flash of light illuminated the viewscreen, and the warship's command center exploded in a fiery blaze. The stronghold's shields, once on the verge of collapse, suddenly stabilized, and the ship lurched forward, accelerating toward the now-vacant command center. Alex's eyes darted to the viewscreen, searching for the source of the sudden reprieve. A sleek, silver ship, adorned with humanity's emblem on its hull, emerged from the chaos. Maya Singh, the enigmatic treasure hunter, stood at the helm, a triumphant smile spreading across her face. "The cavalry has arrived, Alex," Maya declared, her voice laced with amusement. "It seems I've developed a taste for rebellions. Let's take back our future together." The stronghold's engines roared back to life, and Alex breathed a sigh of relief as his crew rushed to regroup and reassess their situation. With Maya's ship, the Maverick's Revenge, providing cover, they had a narrow window to regroup and devise their next move. "Dr. Patel, how much time do we have before the council regroups?" Alex asked, his mind racing with strategies. "We've got approximately 20 minutes before their reinforcements arrive," Dr. Patel replied, her fingers flying across the console. "We need to come up with a plan, and fast." Alex turned to Maya, his eyes locked on hers. "We need to take out the council's command structure." "Can you hack into their system and disable their fleet?" Maya's smile grew wider. "I've already been working on that. I've got a backdoor into their mainframe. Give me 10 minutes and I'll have their entire fleet crippled." The clock was ticking, and Alex knew they had to act fast. With Maya's help, they could turn the tide of the battle and secure a crucial victory for humanity's rebellion. But as he gazed out into the asteroid field, Alex sensed that this was only the beginning. The council would not take this defeat lying down, and new challenges were waiting on the horizon. "All right, let's get to work," Alex declared, his voice echoing across the bridge. "We've got a rebellion to win." As the Stronghold's crew scrambled to prepare for the next phase of the battle, Alex couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. With Maya by their side, the possibilities seemed endless, and the fate of humanity's future looked brighter than ever. But in the shadows, the Council's shadowy agents were already plotting their revenge, and Alex's greatest challenge was yet to come. Previously, Alex's gamble on Dr. Patel's hack paid off, and Maya Singh's timely intervention with her ship, the Maverick's Revenge, saved the Stronghold from catastrophic collapse. With the Council's command center destroyed, Alex and Maya plotted to cripple their fleet and secure a crucial victory for humanity's rebellion. As Alex's words of determination echoed across the bridge, the Stronghold's crew burst into a frenzy of activity. Maya's fingers danced across her console, weaving a complex web of code as she worked to disable the Council's fleet. Dr. Patel monitored the ship's systems, ensuring they were ready for the next phase of the battle. Alex stood at the edge of the chaos, his eyes fixed on the viewscreen as he visualized their next move. "Alex, I've got something," Maya called out, her voice laced with urgency. "The Council's fleet is scrambling to regroup, but I've located their flagship, the Eclipse. It's the key to crippling their entire operation." Alex's gaze snapped to Maya's console, his mind racing with strategy. "Can you hack into their systems and disable their weapons?" Maya's smile grew mischievous. "Better than that. I can take control of the Eclipse itself. We can turn their own ship against them." The bridge erupted into a mixture of cheers and gasps as the implications sunk in. Alex's heart raced with excitement, but he knew they had to move fast. The Council's reinforcements were closing in, and they had to act before it was too late. "Dr. Patel, can you plot a course for the Eclipse?" Alex asked, his eyes locked on the viewscreen. "Already on it, Alex," Dr. Patel replied, her fingers flying across the console. "We'll be in range in 5 minutes." As the Stronghold hurtled toward the Eclipse, Alex felt a sense of trepidation wash over him. This was their chance to dealt a crushing blow to the Council, but it would come at a great risk. The Eclipse was a behemoth of a ship, and taking control of it would be a daunting task. "Maya, are you sure you can handle this?" Alex asked, his voice laced with concern. Maya's smile grew confident. "I've got this, Alex, trust me." Alex nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. They were about to take a massive gamble, one that would either secure their victory or seal their fate. "All right, let's do this," Alex declared, his voice firm. "Take control of the eclipse and let's show the Council the true power of humanity." The stronghold surged forward, its engines blazing as it hurtled toward the heart of the Council's fleet. Alex's heart raced with anticipation, and he knew that the next few minutes would change the course of history forever. But as they approached the eclipse, a strange energy signature began to emanate from the ship. Maya's eyes narrowed, her brow furrowed in concern. "What's going on?" Alex asked, his voice laced with unease. "It's not possible," Maya replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "The eclipse is. It's adapting to my hack. It's fighting back." The bridge fell silent, the only sound the ominous hum of the eclipse as it began to resist Maya's control. Alex's heart sank, and he knew they were running out of time. The Council's reinforcements were closing in, and their window of opportunity was rapidly closing. "What do we do?" Dr. Patel asked, her voice laced with panic. Alex's gaze locked onto Maya, his eyes burning with determination. "We find a way to overcome it. We can't give up now." But as the stronghold teetered on the brink of disaster, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were staring into the abyss, and the fate of humanity hung precariously in the balance. Previously, Alex Carter's bold plan to infiltrate the Galactic Council's command center paid off, but at a great cost. Maya Singh's timely intervention saved the stronghold from collapse, and they now have a chance to cripple the Council's fleet. However, as they approach the Council's flagship, the Eclipse, an unexpected energy signature begins to adapt to Maya's hack, fighting back against their control. The bridge of the stronghold fell silent, the only sound the ominous hum of the eclipse as it resisted Maya's control. Alex's heart sank, and he knew they were running out of time. The Council's reinforcements were closing in, and their window of opportunity was rapidly closing. But then, a glimmer of hope emerged from the chaos. "I think I can override the adaptation, Doctor," Patel said, her eyes fixed on the console, "but I need access to the Eclipse's core systems." Alex's gaze snapped to Maya, her fingers still dancing across her console. "Can you get Dr. Patel the access she needs?" Maya's brow furrowed in concentration. "I am trying, but the Eclipse is fighting hard. I need more time." "Time is one thing we don't have," Alex muttered, his eyes scanning the viewscreen as the Council's reinforcements drew closer. But then, an idea sparked in his mind. "Dr. Patel, can you work with Maya to create a temporary wormhole? If we can establish a connection between the stronghold and the eclipse, we might be able to bypass their security and get you the access you need." Dr. Patel's eyes lit up. "It's possible, but it would require precise calculations and a fragile connection. We'd have to act fast." Maya nodded, her fingers moving swiftly across her console. "I can create the wormhole, but I'll need your help to stabilize it." Alex's heart raced as he visualized the plan. It was risky, but it was their only hope. "Let's do it. We have to try." With the clock ticking down, Maya and Dr. Patel worked in tandem, weaving a complex web of code and calculations. The bridge was silent, the only sound the hum of the consoles and the soft beeping of the wormhole's establishment. As the connection stabilized, Dr. Patel's eyes locked onto the data streaming in from the eclipse. "I am in," she whispered, her fingers moving swiftly across the console. The bridge erupted into a mixture of cheers and gasps as the implications sunk in. They had done the impossible, taken control of the eclipse, but as they celebrated their victory, Alex knew that this was only the beginning. The Council's reinforcements were still closing in, and they had to act fast to capitalize on their advantage. "Maya, can you use the eclipse to take out the Council's reinforcements?" Alex asked, his voice firm. Maya's smile grew mischievous. "I'll make it happen. Let's show the Council the true power of humanity." As the stronghold and the eclipse prepared to face off against the Council's fleet, Alex felt a sense of trepidation wash over him. This was their chance to deal a crushing blow to the Council, but it would come at a great risk. The outcome was far from certain, and the fate of humanity hung precariously in the balance. But Alex Carter was undeterred. He stood tall, his eyes fixed on the viewscreen as he led humanity into the unknown. The battle for the future had begun, and Alex was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Previously, Alex Carter's plan to infiltrate the Galactic Council's command center paid off, but at a great cost. Maya Singh's timely intervention saved the stronghold from collapse, and they now have a chance to cripple the Council's fleet. However, as they approach the Council's flagship, the Eclipse, an unexpected energy signature begins to adapt to Maya's hack, fighting back against their control. The darkness of space was about to be illuminated by a battle that would change the course of history. As Alex gazed out at the viewscreen, the Eclipse loomed large, its sleek hull bristling with weapons. The stronghold and its makeshift crew were about to take on the Council's reinforcements in a desperate bid for survival. "Maya, are you ready to unleash hell?" Alex asked, his voice steady despite the turmoil brewing inside him. Maya's grin was fierce. "Let's show them what humanity is capable of." With a burst of energy, the Eclipse unleashed a barrage of missiles, each one precision-guided by Maya's hack. The stronghold's own defenses sprang to life, firing a retaliatory salvo that ripped through the Council's fleet. The battle raged on, with the two sides trading blows in a mesmerizing display of firepower. As the fight raged on, Alex couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and awe at the sheer scale of the conflict. This was humanity's chance to prove itself, to show the galaxy that they would no longer be pushed around. But despite their initial successes, the Council's reinforcements were relentless, pouring in wave after wave of ships to overwhelm the stronghold. Alex's heart sank as the odds began to stack against them. "Maya, we need to come up with something new," Alex said, his voice laced with urgency. "We can't keep this up for much longer." Maya's fingers danced across her console, her brow furrowed in concentration. "I think I can hack into the Council's communication network. If we can spread some disinformation, we might be able to create a window of opportunity." Alex's eyes lit up. "Do it. Let's create some chaos." With a burst of static, Maya's hack infiltrated the Council's comms system. False orders and contradictory commands began to stream in, sowing confusion among the Council's ranks. The stronghold's crew watched in awe as the Council's fleet began to fracture, ships colliding or turning on each other in response to the fake commands. As the Council's grip on the battle began to slip, Alex knew they had to strike while the iron was hot. "Dr. Patel, can you access the Eclipse's navigation system? We need to get out of here before the Council regroups." Dr. Patel's eyes locked onto the console. "I am working on it, Alex. But we need to move fast. The Council's reinforcements are closing in." The stronghold shuddered as it jumped into hyperspace, narrowly avoiding a salvo of Council missiles. As the ship emerged on the other side, Alex let out a deep breath. They had made it out alive, but the war was far from over. As the crew celebrated their narrow victory, Alex couldn't help but wonder what lay ahead. They had taken a significant blow to the Council's fleet, but the enemy would regroup and come back stronger. The fate of humanity still hung precariously in the balance. But for now, Alex Carter smiled, his heart full of pride and determination. They had taken the first step towards a brighter future, and he knew that no matter what lay ahead, humanity would rise to the challenge. Previously, Alex Carter's plan to infiltrate the Galactic Council's command center and cripple their fleet seemed to be paying off. But an unexpected energy signature adapted to Maya's hack, fighting back against their control. As they escaped the Council's flagship, the Eclipse, in a desperate bid for survival, the stronghold and its makeshift crew emerged victorious, but not without knowing that the war was far from over. As the stronghold emerged from hyperspace, the silence was palpable, a stark contrast to the chaotic battle that had just ensued. Alex stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the viewscreen, the stars blurring together in a mesmerizing dance. The crew's celebration was still fresh in his mind, but he knew they couldn't afford to rest on their laurels. The council would regroup and they would come back stronger. Maya, can you hack into the council's database and get a sense of their current fleet strength? Alex asked, his voice low and urgent. Maya nodded, her fingers already dancing across her console. I am on it, Alex, but I think we should be prepared for the worst. The council won't take this lying down. Alex's jaw clenched in determination. Well, be ready. Doctor Patel, can you analyze the data we gathered from the eclipse? I want to know what kind of tech they're fielding. Dr. Patel nodded, his eyes already locked onto the console. I am on it, Alex, but I think I can already tell you that the council's pulled out all the stops. We're looking at advanced AI-powered ships, heavily armed and shielded. We'll need to come up with a new strategy if we're going to take them down. The bridge fell silent once more, the weight of their task settling in. Alex knew they had to push forward to find a way to overcome the council's superior firepower. But as he looked around at his crew, he saw the exhaustion etched on their faces, the doubt creeping into their eyes. We need a new plan, and we need it fast, Alex said, his voice firm and resolute. Let's get to work, people. We can't afford to waste any more time. As the crew scrambled to respond, Alex felt a sense of determination wash over him. They would find a way to overcome the odds, to lead humanity towards a brighter future. But for now, the darkness of space loomed before them, a constant reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Maya, can you patch me through to the rest of the stronghold? Alex asked, his voice steady. Maya nodded, her console beeping as she established the connection. You're on, Alex. Alex took a deep breath, his eyes locked onto the viewscreen. Attention, all hands. We've taken the first step towards a brighter future, but the war is far from over. We'll be facing tougher challenges ahead, but I know we can overcome them. We'll work together, we'll find a way to adapt, and we'll emerge victorious. Let's get to work, people. The fate of humanity is counting on us. As Alex's words echoed through the stronghold, he felt a sense of pride and determination wash over him. They would rise to the challenge, no matter what lay ahead. Humanity would emerge victorious, and Alex Carter would be the one leading the charge. Previously, Alex Carter's plan to cripple the Galactic Council's fleet seemed to be paying off, but an unexpected energy signature adapted to Maya's hack, fighting back against their control. As they escaped the Council's flagship, the Eclipse, the stronghold and its makeshift crew emerged victorious, but not without knowing that the war was far from over. As Alex's rallying cry echoed through the stronghold, a mixture of fatigue and determination etched on the faces of his companions. He knew they had to move swiftly to stay one step ahead of the council. He called an urgent meeting with his senior team, comprising Maya, Dr. Patel, and Commander Lewis, to brainstorm a new strategy. The conference room was a flurry of activity, holographic displays flickering to life as Maya and Dr. Patel presented their findings. We've analyzed the council's database, Alex, Maya said, and it's clear they're immobilizing their entire fleet to take us down. We're looking at a minimum of 300 ships, all AI-powered and heavily armed. Dr. Patel nodded in agreement. And we've discovered that the Council has established a network of hidden bases, providing them with an unpredictable advantage in terms of resource allocation and deployment. Alex's eyes narrowed, his mind racing with the implications. We need to find a way to disable their AI core, or at least disrupt their ability to coordinate their fleet. Commander Lewis, what's our current status on the research station? Commander Lewis' expression turned grim. We've managed to crack the encryption, Alex, but the station's database is a labyrinth. It'll take us at least a week to sort through the data and find anything useful. A week was a luxury they didn't have. Alex knew they had to act faster. Dr. Patel, can you modify our own AI system to interface with the research station's database? Maybe we can shortcut the process and find what we need in time. Dr. Patel's eyes lit up with determination. I'll get to work on it, Alex, but I'll need Maya's expertise to hack into the station's mainframe. As the meeting drew to a close, Alex felt a glimmer of hope. They had a long and treacherous road ahead, but with his team working together, he knew they could overcome the impossible. But just as they were about to disperse, Maya's console beeped, her eyes darting towards the view screen. "Alex, I am picking up an energy signature on the edge of our sensors." It's not council, but it's definitely not natural either. Alex's instincts kicked in, a sense of foreboding settling in the pit of his stomach. "Raise our shields and go to condition yellow. Let's get ready for anything." The stronghold's warning klaxons blared to life, a stark reminder that in a universe full of unknowns, the only constant was the next challenge waiting around the corner. Previously, Alex Carter's plan to cripple the Galactic Council's fleet seemed to be paying off, but an unexpected energy signature adapted to Maya's hack, fighting back against their control. As they escaped the Council's flagship, the Eclipse, the stronghold and its makeshift crew emerged victorious, but not without knowing that the war was far from over. Alex stood on the stronghold's command deck, his eyes fixed on the view screen as the mysterious energy signature drew closer. Maya's console beeped incessantly, her fingers flying across the keyboard as she tried to gather more information. "What do we know, Maya?" Alex asked, his voice firm but controlled. "It's a ship, Alex," Maya replied, her brow furrowed in concentration. "But it's unlike anything I've seen before. The design is alien." Dr. Patel's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Could this be the break we need? If we can communicate with whoever is on that ship, we can't assume they're friendly," Commander Lewis cautioned. "We need to be prepared for anything." Alex nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. "Agreed." Maya, try to hail them. "Let's see if we can establish a connection." The silence that followed was oppressive, the entire crew holding their breath as Maya worked her magic. Finally, a holographic projection coalesced on the view screen, an alien entity with skin like polished obsidian and eyes that burned with an inner fire. "I am Ambassador Zorvath of the Kaivhara Empire," the entity declared, its voice like thunder in the stronghold's command deck. "We have been monitoring your conflict with the Galactic Council. We offer our assistance in defeating them, but at a price." Alex's instincts screamed warning, but he knew they couldn't afford to pass up this opportunity. "What do you propose, Ambassador?" The ambassador's gaze was unyielding. "You will provide us with access to the research station's database. In return, we will provide you with the technology to defeat the Council once and for all." The room fell silent, Alex's team watching him intently. He knew the risks, but he also knew they couldn't hesitate. "Deal," he said finally, extending a hand. The ambassador's expression remained unreadable, but it nodded its head in acceptance. "Then let us begin." The alliance with the Kaivhara Empire proved to be a game-changer. With their advanced technology, the Stronghold's crew was able to infiltrate the Council's hidden bases, disrupting their resource allocation and deployment. Maya and Dr. Patel worked tirelessly to interface with the research station's database, uncovering the secrets of the AI core and developing a plan to disable it. Meanwhile, Alex and Commander Lewis led a series of high-stakes missions to infiltrate key Council facilities, gathering crucial data and intel that would give them the upper hand in the final battle. But as they drew closer to their goal, the Council fought back with everything they had, desperate to cling to their power. The war raged on for weeks, the Stronghold's crew fighting with every ounce of strength they possessed. Alex's leadership was tested to the limit, his team relying on him to make the impossible decisions that would keep them one step ahead of the Council. And then, finally, the moment of truth arrived. The Stronghold's crew stood at the threshold of the Council's headquarters, a sprawling complex on a remote planet. Alex's heart raced with anticipation as he gazed out at the assembled forces, the Kaivhara Empire's ships standing shoulder to shoulder with the Stronghold's makeshift fleet. "This is it," Alex said, his voice carrying across the comms system. "This is our chance to change history. Let's make it count." The battle that followed was intense, the Council's AI-powered fleet clashing with the Stronghold's forces in a maelstrom of laser fire and explosions. Alex's team fought with every ounce of strength they possessed, the outcome hanging in the balance. But in the end, it was Alex who emerged victorious, standing on the ruins of the Council's headquarters as the AI core went dark. The galaxy was finally free from the Council's tyranny, and Alex knew that a new era of cooperation and progress was on the horizon. As the Stronghold's crew celebrated their hard-won victory, Alex gazed out at the stars, his eyes burning with a fire of their own. He knew that there would be challenges ahead, but he also knew that he had the team, the vision, and the courage to face them head-on. The galaxy was reborn, and Alex Carter was its brightest star. Epilogue. Alex stood on the edge of the research station, the stars stretching out before him like a canvas of endless possibility. Maya and Dr. Patel flanked him, their faces etched with exhaustion but their eyes shining with a sense of wonder. "We did it, Alex," Maya said, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex nodded, his gaze drifting out into the depths of space. "We're just getting started." The Stronghold's crew had saved humanity, but they had also opened the door to a new era of exploration and discovery. As Alex gazed out at the stars, he knew that there were still mysteries waiting to be uncovered, still wonders waiting to be discovered. And he knew that he would be there, leading the charge, as humanity ventured forth into the unknown.